Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I'm Timothy alongside Sergio. Of course, Sergio, welcome.
Hey everybody. Hey Tim.
Yes, welcome, everybody. If you're new to the show, be sure to subscribe. Also, be sure to smash the like button. We are giving out picks for 5 different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, Eredivisie, and the Bundesliga. Now, last week, not a great week. The week before that, we had a great week. Last week, not so great. So let's forget that quick. Let's look to bounce back and get started, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of draws last week. So yeah, that spoils the fun actually.
Yeah. All right. Let's get started. Today, we are starting with the Premier League, and the first game on the schedule is Everton hosting Manchester United. Everton wins set at 2.6, United at 3.1. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, crazy line here. Everton being favored over United. And you may look at this game and be like, well, United should be better than Everton, right? But they're below Everton in the standings, right? They
Yes.
score about the same. United has one more goal, and but they've allowed like four more goals. So basically the same team here. So I understand why Everton is favored. Also, Everton in the last 6 games only one loss against a very good Bournemouth team. They've beaten Tottenham, they've beaten Brighton, they've beaten Leicester City. Of course, everybody beats Leicester City, just like Brentford did today. And they've beaten Crystal Palace. Also a good draw against Liverpool. So has Everton like turned things around? Is this a sign of things to come?
Yes, they definitely turned things around. Yeah, but still, Manchester United, they lost I think 12 games already this season. That's more than Everton. So yeah, Everton is the favorite. Yes, I understand, but you you never count out Manchester United, of course, but the problem is they are playing away, an away game. So usually this Manchester United has a lot of problems with that. And Everton at home, I uh, I would still go for Everton.
Yeah, I'm tailing you on that one. I'm also going for Everton. Now I like goals a little bit more in this game. The over 2.5, or maybe both teams to score over 2.5 sitting at 2.18, both teams to score 1.83. I think both will hit. But I would rather go, if I have to pick a winner, I would rather go for Everton. There's no way you could trust United, like you said, on the road. And I'm not even impressed by the players they have at this moment, right? So you look at the players, like they should be better than Everton's player, but they're not really playing better than the players from Everton. So going on the road, you have to take Everton here. All
Yeah,
right.
but really Everton, they're not playing better than Fulham, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're below they're below Everton in the standings. And listen, man, things could get way worse. Right? They've already switched coaches like 2 times. Right? I know one was the interim, but still, switch coaches, nothing seems to work. All
Yeah,
right.
but now the crowd they want Ten Hag back. So we'll see
Yeah.
if that happens.
Good luck with that. All right. I think it's tough being a United fan these days. All right. Next up, Arsenal hosting West Ham. Now Arsenal winning kind of low, 1.27. West Ham's not been a good team this season, so odds are 13, and I understand why. It's still a derby, so obviously with low value and a derby, I'm not taking Arsenal. They should win. They're the better team. They're playing at home, but crazy things happen in these types of games. So the over 2.5 is sitting at 1.7, and I think that's an interesting look. Do you have something here?
Yes, it's very interesting. Yeah, exactly what I was looking at is the over 2.5. Like you said, Arsenal winning, yeah, not much to get there. So I would go for the over 2.5.
Yeah, I would agree there. All right, next up, Fulham hosting Crystal Palace. Fulham wins set at 2.14. Palace wins set at 3.65. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, both of these teams, Fulham, they've won three straight. Well, one against Wigan, okay, but still, four out of the last five, and crazy enough, the one they lost was against Manchester United. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, lost two out of the last five, one against Bradford and one against a Everton team that seems to be turning things around. So not really. I still think it's tough to pick a winner here. Fulham is kind of heavily favored, but not that heavily, like 2.14 versus 3.65. So they're expecting Fulham to win this game. I'm not so sure about that. I'm looking more at goals being scored in this game. Since Crystal Palace switched coaches, they've only been shut out once, and Fulham also in the last 11 games, only one time have they failed to score. So I think goals will be scored in this game. So I'm looking at both teams to score or the over 2.5 again. What are you doing?
Yeah, that are the same, but still, for me, it's Crystal Palace. Um, Also, for a win, mm, I think Crystal Palace is gonna win this game. So, very good odds at 367. I would, uh, I would try Crystal Palace.
Oh, so you're going for the dog here.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. All right, next up, Bournemouth hosting Wolves. Bournemouth wins set at 1.6. Wolves wins set at 6. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Bournemouth may be one of the hardest teams in the league. Only one loss since uh, that's back in November. So it's more than 2 months, almost 3 months since they've lost a game. Or actually, they've lost one game during that stretch, and that was against Liverpool. And this man, obviously, Liverpool, best team in the league. Other than that, they've been great. While Wolves, they've been shaky to say the least. I know they've played some good teams over the past month. They've lost to Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, also Arsenal. But still, you have to go for Bournemouth here, right? There's no way Wolves is going on the road and beating a Bournemouth teams that very good in form, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But still, I would maybe just go for the both teams to score and Bournemouth wins. There's a little bit more value there, and I think Wolves we could give them a goal.
I don't disagree there. Well, if Southampton scored against Bournemouth, so obviously I guess Wolves can score. But they did shut out Everton. I get it. Everton not necessarily a high-powered offense. They also shut out Nottingham Forest 5-0. So they can play defense, but I guess Wolves can score a goal here. They've only allowed 29 goals, Bournemouth this season, and that's not a lot. Actually, one of the better defenses in the Premier League. So, not sure Wolves scores, but I don't hate that look.
Mm.
All right. Next up, Ipswich hosting Tottenham. Ipswich wins set at 4. Tottenham wins set at 1.95. Line for total goals set at 3.5. This is a very crazy line. Tottenham 1.95. Actually, I'm gonna lock in Tottenham as one of my favorite bets for the weekend. I know Tottenham, they've not been great this season. They've been very up and down to say the least. And I know Ipswich, they've given some teams trouble, especially at home. They beat Chelsea, of course, a draw against Aston Villa.
Mm.
So they have some upset in them, but they're not gonna beat all the top teams, right? I know Tottenham's not really a top team at the moment, but still, Tottenham's still one of the teams in the league that they can really score goals, right? 49 goals scored. That's fourth highest in the league. So 12th spot for them on the table is a little bit low. I don't think Ipswich will be able to deal with Tottenham's offense. And Tottenham, they're getting healthy, right? Starting off this beginning of the season, a lot of injuries during the season, a lot of injuries. Now they're starting to get healthy. You can see a better Tottenham team. So against a team like Ipswich, I believe they should win easily here. What are you doing?
Yeah, they should. Maybe if they were playing at home, I would be that confident. But away game, Tottenham, yeah. Ipswich, like you said, they gave a few big teams trouble. Um, Maybe a double chance, Ipswich, but I uh, I don't think Tottenham is going to win this game. And easy, no, I don't think so at all. So I'm I am leaning more towards Ipswich.
I'm going against you here. I think Tottenham will win this game. Um, actually, yes, like I said, one of my favorite bets for the week.
Okay, good luck then.
Thanks. All right, next up, Southampton hosting Brighton. Southampton win set at 6, Brighton at 1.6. Line for total goals 2.5. Now, you don't have to do any deep analysis for this game, right? Southampton just a awful team. Brighton 11th, so solid. A goal difference of 0, so they score, they allow, but they do score, and against a team like Southampton, you don't have to worry about Southampton scoring too many goals. So if Brighton scores like 2 times, they should win this game. Brighton win, right?
Yeah, definitely. Brighton win, but low value. Yeah, the over 2.5 is also the same. But yeah, uh, Brighton win definitely.
I wouldn't say low value. I get it, not great value, 1.6, but if you're playing the last team in the league, I guess 1.6 is good value.
Hmm. Okay.
All right. Next up, Aston Villa hosting Chelsea. Villa wins 2.65. Chelsea wins set at 2.7. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, bit of a rough stretch for Chelsea. Only 2 wins in the last 5 games, 3 losses, back-to-back losses against Brighton, and also a loss against City. Now, I do think they kind of deserved more during this 5 game stretch, more than 2 wins because they've actually played better in some of the games, especially the first game against Brighton. So 3 losses, I get it, not good, but it's not like Aston Villa has been a great team this season, right? So I like Chelsea here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I like Chelsea also. I think the draw against Liverpool was one of the highs this week for Aston Villa. And people maybe expect them to do the same against Chelsea, but Chelsea is a team that this win is a win for them to boost their confidence again. After 3 losses in 4 games. Yeah, yeah, and that's not the Chelsea we know for this season. So I would I'm on Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm also on Chelsea. I'm joining there. I like I said, it's not like Aston Villa has been a great team this season, right? Aston Villa still a goal difference of -3. I know they're in the top 10, barely in the top 10, but they have a goal difference of -3. That's very concerning. Usually, good teams don't have that, right? So. I know Chelsea's on a bit of a bad run, but they've dominated some of the games they lost during this stretch. They've just not been able to score enough goals. So um, I believe they will win against Villa, like you do. So we're both on Chelsea.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Newcastle hosting Forest. Newcastle wins 1.85. Forest wins set at 4.5. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Newcastle. Usually a very good home team, but 2 losses out of the last 3 matches, actually back-to-back losses against Bournemouth and against Fulham. They did bounce back with a win in the EFL Cup against Arsenal, so I guess that was good for their confidence. Nottingham Forest, of course, 2 losses out of the last 3 road games, and one they got absolutely smashed by Bournemouth. The 2-1 loss against Fulham, they also got completely outplayed. Like 2-1 is kind of a close score, but they only had 2 shots on goal, while Fulham had like 24 shots and 10 on goal. So Nottingham Forest, they didn't do much in that game. So I'm concerned about them going on the road. And I also don't think they're that much better than Newcastle, even though they're third, Newcastle 7. They score about the same. They allow about the same. Home advantage goes to Newcastle. So I like Newcastle here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. I think Nottingham Forest. I think it's starting to fade. People ask themselves, yeah, how long is it? Are they gonna be able to stay in the top 4, top 3? And I think we're starting to see the cracks now. So and away games, I think are will be the most difficult ones for them the second half of the season. So Newcastle is a good team. So Forest is gonna have a lot of trouble with Newcastle this weekend. I want Newcastle also.
All right. One disagreement so far, right? The Ipswich Tottenham game. Other than that, we seem to be agreeing, right?
Yeah, for now.
For now. All right. Next up, City hosting Liverpool. City wins set at 3.2. Liverpool wins set at 2.3. Line for total goals set at 3.5. This is crazy. I get it, right? Liverpool's been a better team this season, and also City kind of a rough season. But City being like heavy underdogs at home, still crazy. This man, they're coming off a bad loss against Real Madrid where they actually had to win that game. I know it was a road game, but still, you lost the first game. Um, you actually had to do something in the second game, and well, they barely did anything. We're down 3-0. Of course, a late goal, injury time. Okay, who cares? Now you got have a Liverpool team that I would say is more rested because I know they also played in midweek against Aston Villa, but City had to travel a lot further, right? So Liverpool a little bit more rested and a better team, but they're on the road. So which way are you going here?
But Liverpool, I don't know, the last games they seem to you know, looks like there's a little bit sand in the engine or something. So I'm not that confident Liverpool is gonna win. Um, I was looking more at a draw this game, because Liverpool they're not gonna lose. I don't think they will, but that's why I'm just going for a draw. It's gonna be difficult winning this game in Manchester this weekend.
Yeah, I understand, but I do think Liverpool will score goals in this game. If you take Liverpool over 1.5 goals, there's some good value there. Like when City plays these teams with good offenses, they allow goals, like they did against Real Madrid, back-to-back games, 3 goals. So that's a bit of a concern. So I get what you're saying. Liverpool, the last 5 games, not great. A loss against Plymouth, okay, they weren't fielding their strongest 11, but still, even though you don't, you gotta win that game. So that's kind of a bad loss. Then a draw against Everton, they kind of escape Wolves with a 2-1 win and a draw against Villa. So I get what you're saying, but you have to wonder like Arsenal is kind of getting close, right? So Arsenal's 1 game behind Liverpool. If they were to win that game, the gap would be only 5 points. So that makes it interesting. And if you win this game, it's a huge step towards winning the title. So maybe this game gives them something to play for. They get up for this game and take it a little bit more seriously. And if they do, they should win. They should win against City, even though City's at home. City's not the same team, right?
Yeah, but or for Liverpool, it can maybe cause them to feel the pressure, and City actually they don't have nothing to lose, so for them this game will be a little bit easier.
Well, I get what you're saying because City's title hopes they've been faded,
Yeah,
right?
Champions
But
League also. So
yeah, but they have to stay in the top four, right? And you got Bournemouth breathing down the neck, Chelsea breathing down the neck. Both teams only 1 point behind City. So listen, man, it's not like City's playing with house money here. All right. Now that wraps up the Premier League. Let's get to the Bundesliga. First game, Mainz hosting St. Pauli. Mainz wins set at 1.83. St. Pauli wins set at 4.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, listen, Mainz, they're coming off a win last week against Heidenheim, which, okay, I get it. Heidenheim, not a good team. Of course, Heidenheim lost to Copenhagen and got knocked out of the Conference League, is it? And St. Pauli, back-to-back games where, of course, they've lost both games, but they also failed to score. And St. Pauli, a team that doesn't allow too many goals, they also don't score too many goals. Mainz also somewhat a solid defense, only 24 goals allowed. Actually, the second best in the top 10, and I think second best in the league. So, I'm not expecting a lot of goals here. I think Mainz will win, but looking more at the under 2.5 goals, what do you think?
That's strange. I was looking at the over 2.5 goals. Yeah, yeah, I think Mainz is gonna win, I think, but St. Pauli maybe a goal. Uh, and something tells me they'll score first even. So I'm uh, I'm on the over 2.5 this game.
Yeah, I get logically you would say St. Pauli would score in this game because they've not scored in back-to-back games, right? So obviously they're gonna score again. 3 game streak without scoring a goal, maybe not plausible. So I guess they can score here, but it's not, Mainz hasn't also scored too many goals in the last couple of games, right? They won 2-0 against Heidenheim, but before that, a 0-0 draw against Augsburg, a 1-0 loss against Bremen, then also a 2-0 win against Stuttgart. So we haven't seen too many goals recently from both of these teams. So that's why I'm looking at the under 2.5. But maybe things change in this game. Maybe you're right about over 2.5. But either way, I do think Mainz will win this game. All right. Next up, Gladbach hosting Augsburg. Gladbach wins set at 1.87. Augsburg wins set at 4.2. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Augsburg, also a team that's kind of on a bad run here. 3 straight games where they haven't scored a goal. And listen, man, they're a team that, unlike St. Pauli, they average over a goal a game. So a 3 game streak of not scoring, it's kind of unusual for Augsburg. So I
Yeah, that's a
do
lot.
believe. What are you saying?
That's a lot, yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I do believe they will score in this game. Like I said, they average over a goal a game. So a 4 game streak without scoring a goal, I can see that happening. And Gladbach playing at home should also score a goal. It's not like Augsburg has this great defense, only already 35 goals allowed, and also Gladbach 32 goals allowed. So both teams to score is something I'm really looking at here. 1.61, um, not great value, but if you were to take Gladbach for a win, just 1.87. So the difference is not that big. I like both teams to score. What do you think?
I like both teams to score and Gladbach win. So I still think Gladbach is going to win this game. So I'm on the Gladbach win, both teams to score.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't disagree with that. If you want to spice things up, obviously it gives you way more value than just taking one or the other. But both teams to score, I think that's pretty much a lock here. Gladbach win, very plausible. But man, if something strange were to happen, we don't know. Because also, if you look at the head-to-head matchups, the Augsburg, they've kind of gotten the upper hand from Gladbach the last couple of games. Like the last 5 meetings, Augsburg has won 3 times, Gladbach only once. So that may say something.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Holstein Kiel hosting Leverkusen. Kiel wins 10.5, Leverkusen 1.27. Line for total goals 3.5. Not much to say about this game. Leverkusen should win easily here, as I think everybody expects. So, um, if you want to parlay Leverkusen with something else, give you some little bit more value, you can look to that. But just solely betting this game, not great value. So, what are you doing?
Yeah, not great value. Maybe the over 3.5, but yeah, but that's a long shot. So I would uh I would skip this one.
All right. Next up, Wolfsburg hosting Bochum. Wolfsburg wins set at 1.55. Bochum wins set at 6.25. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Bochum coming off a 2-0 win against Dortmund. This man, you were on Dortmund last week. I also expected Dortmund to win. So Bochum really coming off a high, although Dortmund's not a great team this season. Still coming off a high. Wolfsburg also coming off a high, beating Stuttgart in a road game. Now, obviously, Wolfsburg has been a better team this season, but that win was their first win in 5 games. So maybe they're starting a run here. I'm not sure. I'm looking at both teams to score, sitting at 1.67. I do believe Bochum will get a goal in this game. Winning against Dortmund should have given them some confidence heading into this game. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But uh, like you said, Wolfsburg, low, very low value. I think 1.56. Yes. I'm gonna skip this one because the over 2.5. Yeah, I don't like that also, and this game can even end in a draw, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I guess we could agree there. That's why I'm only looking at both teams to score 1.67, and that's a little bit more value than Wolfsburg winning at 1.55. All right, next up, Dortmund hosting Union. Dortmund wins set at 1.56. Union wins set at 6. Line for goal set at 2.5. Now, I really don't have a bet in this game. Dortmund, somewhat, they used to be a good home team, but listen, man, they've only won 1 game out of the last 7 home games. So, um, they need to turn things around. I'm not sure they will. If you look at the last 4 games, a loss against Stuttgart. Then surprisingly, they beat Sporting on the road. Then they lose to Bochum. Then they turn around and a draw against Sporting, 0-0 draw. So not sure where Dortmund's at this moment. And of course, nobody trusts Union at the moment. So I'm kind of skipping this game. Are you doing something?
Yeah, but I think Dortmund should win this one, and they're playing at home, and like you said, they haven't won a home game in what six games.
They've won 1 out of the last 7.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so now they almost have to win this one, and against Union, I don't think you get a better chance to get a home win like Dortmund if you're playing against Union Berlin. So I want uh, I want Dortmund actually.
All right. Next up, Leipzig hosting Heidenheim. Leipzig wins 1.34. Heidenheim wins 8.5. Line for zero goals 3.5. Now, again, another game where it's kind of low value for Leipzig, the home team here, the better team. So understandable. Heidenheim, they've only won 1 game out of the last 7, but that was against Copenhagen. So not even a great team. And then they turn around and lose in a 3-1 against Copenhagen. So Heidenheim, obviously a bad team. So the line kind of tells you which way this is going, right? Leipzig win.
Yes, Leipzig win, but yeah, a little bit too low on the on value there.
Yeah, so what you could do to really get some value is like 3 teams in the Bundesliga or a couple games we'll get to, but 3 teams in the Bundesliga that we believe should win, like Leverkusen win, Leipzig win, and you believe Dortmund wins. I'm not so sure about Dortmund, but if you really think Dortmund's a lock, you take those 3 teams, you parlay them, and then you get some great value.
Yeah, that's possible.
All right. Next up, Bayern Munich hosting Frankfurt. Bayern wins set at 1.32. Frankfurt wins set at 9. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Listen, man, this is like I really like underdogs this weekend, right? So this is this is one of them where I kind of like Frankfurt. I'm gonna play it safe and take a double chance, but I think Frankfurt has enough to win this game outright. Like Bayern, look at the last 3 games, right? So first a win against Celtic, a 2-1 win where they weren't that dominant, right? Celtic had expected goals of 1.37, Bayern had below 1. So guess you're kind of lucky to win that game. Then a 0-0 draw against Leverkusen where they didn't have a shot on goal and they only had 2 shots the whole game. So that's obviously bad. Then you go against Celtic, you're like, okay, you're playing at home, you should bounce back. still 1-1 draw. So I don't like where Bayern is at the moment. And you're playing a rested Frankfurt team. I get it, Frankfurt not on a great stretch here. Only one win in the last five, but they will be well rested. And of course, everybody gets up when they're playing Bayern Munich. So I like Frankfurt here. I'm gonna play the double chance. What are you doing?
Uh, I see your point, but like you said, Bayern maybe not in the best form at the moment. Yeah, the draw against the Celtic actually surprised me the most. So yeah, Frankfurt, they have a good chance winning this game. Rested, I agree, but yeah, it's still difficult to to Allianz Arena just to go there and win. I think Bayern is still the favorite to win.
Yeah, they're all right. I get what you're saying. Obviously, they're literally the favorite here, 1.32. So they're expected to win this game, but I'm not sure they will. Like I said, I get it's difficult to win there, so that's why I'm taking the double chance and playing it safe here. I think Frankfurt has enough to win this game. I might sprinkle something on a outright win for Frankfurt, but here I'm just playing a double chance. But like I said. Surprisingly, the 1-1 against Celtic. For me, what was even more surprising was against Leverkusen, zero shots on goal. That kind of blew my mind. So that's not the Bayern we're used to.
No, this season, no.
All right. Next up, Hoffenheim hosting Stuttgart. Hoffenheim wins set at 3.55. Stuttgart wins set at 2.02. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Um, I like Stuttgart here. Stuttgart, obviously the better team. They've been the better team this season. Hoffenheim, they've had some ups, some downs. Two wins out of the last five games. One against Anderlecht. So, okay, I guess and the last one against Werder Bremen. But Werder Bremen just got smashed today by Freiburg, so kind of says more about Werder Bremen than Hoffenheim. Stuttgart, obviously, we know a good team. I know they're coming off a loss against Wolfsburg, but this is a good spot to bounce back after they had back-to-back wins against Augsburg and Dortmund. So I like Stuttgart here. What are you doing?
Maybe if they were playing at home, but I'm not that confident they'll win. The loss against Wolfsburg and also against Gladbach, they were all home games. But yeah, but still, yeah, they did it against Dortmund, but Dortmund, we already discussed that. Not a team in the Bundesliga that the other teams are afraid of this season. So yeah, mm, I'm not so sure about Stuttgart. Double chance Hoffenheim, maybe.
No, I have no way I'm trusting Hoffenheim. I know they're playing at home, but if I have to, it's either Stuttgart for me or nothing. And well, if I'm hesitating, then I'm just staying off this game. But I like Stuttgart. All right, that wraps up the Bundesliga. Let's get to La Liga. First game, Alaves hosting Espanyol. Not a game I have anything on. Do you got something for that game?
Yeah, no, we can skip this one.
All right. Next up, Rayo hosting Villarreal. Rayo wins set at 3.1. Villarreal wins set at 2.4. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, you may think Villarreal's been a better team this season, and I get it, 6 points difference between them, but still, Villarreal is fifth, Rayo is sixth. And if you look at Rayo's record, over the last like 10, 12 games, they've only lost two against Barcelona last week, a 1-0 loss, and then against Real Sociedad. But both were on the road. At home, three-game winning streak at the moment, and overall, they've only lost two out of the last 12. So I think Rayo's actually the home advantage here should make Rayo the better team. I'm not so sure about Villarreal on the road. Obviously, they don't have a great defense, and they've only won two out of the last seven games on the road against Leganes and Las Palmas, two horrible teams. So I'm kind of on Rayo here. Where you at?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you again this time. I'm also on Rayo Vallecano. Like you said, they play at home, so the home team this weekend and Villarreal, they have a lot of trouble in their away games, and Rayo Vallecano, I don't think they're that much less than Villarreal. So I'm on Rayo also.
All right. Next up, Valencia hosting Atletico Madrid. Valencia wins set at 4.6. Atletico Madrid wins set at 1.87. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, I get it. A couple of games ago, Atletico Madrid, they had a bad loss against Leganes. But listen, man, those things happen, right? That was a one-off. That's like one of the only game they've lost since. Let's see. That was back in October 27th, so the end of October. So more than like 3 months, just losing one game. And now you're playing a Valencia team that I know if they've picked up some points of late. A win against Leganes, okay, a win against Celta, a win against Sociedad. But still, it's Atletico Madrid. They've now lost the number one spot again. Barcelona, of course, overtook them, winning last week against Rayo. So Atletico Madrid, they should bounce back in this game. Last week, of course, a bad 1-1 draw against Celta, but you receive a red card after 7 minutes. That's kind of terrible. They still get a draw. I believe they will win here, and I think the line's actually pretty disrespectful for Atletico Madrid,
Yes.
1.87. So I'm locking Atletico Madrid in. And I can already see you're agreeing with me here.
Yes, of course. At 1.88, playing against the number 18 in the league. Yeah, yes, of course. It's Valencia, but still, they are not that good. The over 2.5 is also very interesting. Something to look at also because Valencia, if they're really, really, trying hard, I think they can even score a goal also. So. The over 2.5 is interesting.
Yeah, I would also agree there. All right, next up, Las Palmas hosting Barcelona. Las Palmas wins set at 11.5. Barcelona wins set at 1.25. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, obviously, low value backing Barcelona here, 1.25. But the over 3.5 may be something interesting. But it's always tough for these Barcelona games. You know, they can beat teams like 7-0, 5-0, and then they just sneak out a 1-0 win against some lowly team. So I'm not sure I'm playing this game. Are you doing something?
Yeah, away should be a 1-0 again. So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
All right, so you're also skipping this game.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Bilbao hosting Valladolid. Actually, another game I'm kind of skipping. Bilbao wins set at 1.18. That's like obviously too low to play. Are you doing something there?
Yes, way too low. No, I'm also skipping this one.
Yeah, and of course we understand the line, right? Valladolid last in the league, only 15 goals scored, so Bilbao should rout here. All right, next up, Real Madrid hosting Girona. Real Madrid wins set at 1.24. Girona wins set at 11.5. And line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, also, again, low value Real Madrid, 1.24. But this is a game Real Madrid just should win. We see some upsets, so low value doesn't always mean the team will win. But Real Madrid at home against a Girona team that's not the same team they were 2 years ago. So obviously Real Madrid should win this game. If you want to add some value to maybe a two-team parlay, Real Madrid with another team that obviously should win this weekend, you can do that. But that's about all, right?
Or maybe just go for the over 3.5. Yeah, that's maybe Mbappe scores a hat trick again. You never know.
Possibly, but I'm kind of staying away from the over 3.5. Now, I guess it's an interesting look because Real Madrid they've their defense not been great in the last couple of games. They've allowed the goal in five, no, is it six straight games? So I guess Girona could get a goal here. We could see a 3-1 win. So for the over 3.5, it might be a look. All right, next up, Getafe hosting Betis. Getafe wins set at 2.75. Betis wins set at 3.05. Line for total goals set at 1.5. So 1.5, obviously low, and that means they're not expecting goals in this game. Neither am I, because Getafe is a team we know they're gonna defend, and
Mm.
they don't score a lot, they don't allow a lot. 20 goals scored, 18 allowed in 24 games. So that says everything about their style of play. And Betis coming off a Thursday game where they lost to Ghent. So not sure how much Betis has in the tank for this game. So I'm not expecting goals, which is why I'm staying away. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, I'm following you.
All right. Next up, Sociedad hosting Leganes. Sociedad wins set at 1.57. Leganes wins set at 7. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Sociedad coming off also a Thursday game, but a win against an Midtjylland, a 5-2 win. They've been good in at home this season. The last 12 home games, only one loss against Getafe. So you could see that as a one-off. They've been actually very good at home this season. I know Leganes had an upset against Atletico Madrid a couple of games ago, but man, since that, they've not won a game. I know also a 0-0 draw against Bilbao, so I guess some games still just in a park the bus and defend, but they lost against Rayo, lost against Valencia. Real Sociedad should win here. So 1.57 is something I maybe could parlay with. Real Madrid winning 1.57 and 1.27 gives you some good value. That's something I can look at. Are you doing something here?
These two teams, when they play against each other, usually they score a lot. So the over 2.5 is also something to look at, sitting at 1.45. Yeah, and they also see that playing at home. Yeah, the over 2.5, interesting.
Over 2.5 is sitting at 2.45, so you get like plus money for the over 2.5.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the over 2.5 sitting at 2.45, under 2.5 at 1.53. That would suggest they're not expecting a lot of goals. And I get what you're saying about the history, but still, Sociedad this season, a team that they don't allow too many goals. They've only allowed 23 goals, and they also don't score themselves a lot to only 20 goals scored. So I get what you're saying about the history, but this season looks kind of different for Sociedad.
mm, okay.
All right. Next up, Sevilla hosting Mallorca. Sevilla wins set at 2.1. Mallorca wins set at 4. Line for total goals, another game 1.5, which I totally get. Both of these teams have a very defensive approach. Now I know they've allowed some goals. Mallorca's allowed 30 goals. Sevilla 34 goals. So I get it, but still, these teams very defensive mindset. So not expecting a lot of goals. I would still lean towards Sofia because they're at home. But listen, man, two teams playing defense on a Monday, not a good recipe, right?
No, no, not at all. So I'm skipping this one.
All right. That wraps up La Liga. Let's get to Serie A. First game on the schedule, Parma hosting Bologna. Parma wins set at 4.3. Bologna wins set at 1.88. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Parma obviously on a bad run, four straight losses. So that's bad. And you look at this game, you should say, well, Bologna obviously the better team, which is true. But Bologna on the road, they've not been great, right? They won like two out of the last eight against one against Atalanta, one against Torino, but they draw a lot of these road games. So although Parma is not great, Bologna they had a draw against Empoli, against Lecce. So not sure they will win this game. If I'm doing something, guess a double chance and maybe over 1.5 goals for the total game. You get it same game parlay to add some value, but I'm not sure Bologna wins this game. What do you think?
No, but you have to try it. Parma has half of the points. They're sitting on what is it, 18?
Yeah, they're 18th in the league.
Yeah, 18. So yeah, so I would at 1.88. I would just go for
Yeah,
Bologna.
well, there's a reason it's 1.88. Sometimes they're just trying to trick you into betting
Mm.
these teams. But I get what you're saying. It's worth a try because Bologna is actually far better this season. Like you said, they have more than they've actually doubled in Parma in points, so they should win. But drawing against Lecce, drawing against Empoli, is not good. I don't like that at all. Too many draws over the last, what's it, 10 road games. So. I'm not sure Bologna wins the game. Next up, a game I do like. Venezia hosting Lazio. Venezia wins 5.25. Lazio wins at 1.68. Line for the goal set at 2.5. I'm just gonna play Lazio here. Venezia, not a great team. Back-to-back losses where they haven't scored a goal. Loss against Roma, loss against Genoa. And Lazio is just a good team, right? I know in the last couple of road games they've lost some games, but the loss against Braga, they actually had nothing to play for there, so I'm dismissing that one. And then a loss against Roma, which is a derby, so something you could understand. Other than that, they've been very solid on the road, a lot of wins. They don't seem to draw the road game, so it's either a win or a loss. And I believe this will be a win. Or are you doing something?
Yeah, yes, I think so also. And Lazio, partly with maybe with Real and Atletico Madrid, yeah, it can really count up to something.
That's true. That should give you an way of the plus. All right. Next up, Torino hosting AC Milan. Torino wins set at 3.9. AC Milan wins set at 2.04. Line for Torgo set at 2.5. Now, a couple weeks ago, you kind of convinced me that AC Milan losing to Feyenoord was kind of a blip. But then, of course, they beat Hellas Verona just 1-0, so not great. And then against Feyenoord this week, 1-1 draw. You get knocked out of the Champions League. And it was actually pretty bad from Theo Hernandez that taking that second yellow card, just absolutely awful. So I'm not sure where AC Milan is at the moment. And also, if you look at the history between these two teams, AC Milan, they don't win a lot of games at Torino. So I'm not on AC Milan. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm not on AC Milan also, but Torino, one of the teams that keeps surprising, just like they did against Juventus also. So at home, they can do something special. So I'm on Torino actually.
All right. Next up, Inter hosting Genoa. Inter wins set at 1.27. Genoa wins set at 13. Line for total goals 3.5. Now, Inter obviously coming off a loss against Juve. They should be pissed off. They should be mad. They're playing at home. They should rout Genoa here. So, Inter is another team that maybe you can add with a two-game parlay, Inter win, Real Madrid win, or Inter win, and maybe a game we'll get next to an Atalanta winning. That's something you can look to because obviously Inter will win this game, but that's about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's about it. I'm not doing anything this game.
All right. Next up, Como hosting Napoli. Como wins set at 3.75. Napoli wins set at 2.18. And line for Turgo set at 2.5. Now, Como, they've They've had a good game last week against Fiorentina, the 2-0 win. But before that, three straight losses against Atalanta, against Bologna, and against Juve. The game against Juve, they were actually pretty solid in that game. I think Juve was a little bit lucky winning that game, but still a loss. Napoli over the last couple of games, not sure if they're on a bad run here or maybe just three. Um, Unfortunate game. So 1-1 draw against AS Roma, then also 1-1 draw against Udinese, and then a 2-2 draw against Lazio. Um, so I'm not sure I'm on Napoli this weekend. Do you have something here?
No, I'm on Napoli. Yeah, Como. Yeah, they keep surprising and they surprise uh, and a lot against the big teams. But I think Napoli needs to set things straight, and if they want to keep the first position, they have to win this game against Como also. So I'm uh, I'm on Napoli. Good odds.
All right. I'm leaning towards Napoli. Not sure I'm on Napoli yet, but I will agree. And the odds, that's also something. It kind of stinks. 2.18 versus Como. That stinks. That really stinks for me.
Yes,
The odds should not be that high. Napoli first place in the league. Get out of here.
that's
All
why.
right. All right. Next up, Verona hosting Fiorentina. Verona wins set at 4.1. Fiorentina wins set at 1.95. Line for Torgo set at 2.5. Now Fiorentina back-to-back losses. The first against Inter, so all right. Inter had some revenge, and then a loss against Como, which was obviously not great because they were playing at home. But I do like them here. Verona, not a good team. They've won one game out of the last seven, only against Monza, and Monza is just absolutely last in the league. So I guess somebody had to win that game. But Verona's not a great team, so even though Fiorentina is going on the road, I still like them here. What are you doing?
Yeah, the way I saw Fiorentina playing against Como last week, I wouldn't be that sure, and they were playing at home then. So away, Hellas Verona, yeah, they are, yeah, maybe a little bit worse than Como, but still, they're playing at home and Fiorentina away. I don't trust them at all, so I I would just go for a double chance Hellas Verona, or maybe just look for the goals.
No, I do think Verona is a lot worse than Como. I know only 2 points separates them in the table, but Verona, Como scores more than Verona, and Verona has allowed like 14 goals more than Como. So I still think there's a big gap, and that's one of the reasons I still like Fiorentina in this game. All right, next up, Empoli hosting Atalanta. Empoli wins set at 5.8. Atalanta 1.58. Line for goal set at 2.5. Now, Empoli, obviously, not a great team. The last game they won was against Hellas Verona. Uh, they beat them 4-1, but that's about all they can hang their hat on. Atalanta got knocked out of the Champions League, only one win in the last five games, so. Now they can shift their focus to the league and bounce back and get a win against Empoli. Sneaky good value, 1.58. What do you think?
Yeah. Very disappointing for Atalanta getting knocked out of the Champions League. And you know, it was a if it was a team maybe like City or Real, I think they would. It wouldn't be that bad for them, but against Bruges, that stings. So Empoli, I think they're gonna pay a price this weekend. Um, but I'm still on the over 2.5.
Yeah, I get why Atalanta obviously a high scoring team and very offensive minded. So over 2.5, not a bad look. Over 2.5 also gives you a little bit more value at 1.72. Atalanta wins 1.58. I do think they will win. And I get a little bit less value, but I would rather go for Atalanta win. But I also think the over 2.5 is a great look. Atalanta could easily push it over 2.5 by themselves.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Cagliari hosting Juve. Cagliari wins set at 4.6. Juve wins set at 1.9. Line for Turgo set at 2.5. And I get it, I guess. Cagliari obviously not a great team, but I'm not even sure where Juve is at the moment, especially on the road. Two wins in the last 11 road games, and those two wins came against one against Monza, one against Como, where I believe they actually shouldn't have won that game. They did still, but still only two wins in the last 11. coming off a road game in a Champions League where you got pushed to extra time and you got knocked out. So confidence shouldn't be high. You're already bad on the road. I don't like Juve here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree with everything you say, and playing on the road, same for me is the same feeling like Hellas Verona. Just a double chance, Cagliari.
All right. Next up, Roma hosting Monza. Roma wins set at 1.33. Monza wins 9.5. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Um, I guess Rome you can parlay Roma with Inter. Roma of obviously coming off a Thursday game, but they're playing on Monday, so should be rested enough. Playing against the last team in the league, playing at home. Thursday they also played at home, so no travel. So I guess Roma should easily win this game. And if you want to parlay them with Inter and maybe Atalanta, that could give you some value. Are you doing something here?
No, no, I'm gonna skip this Monday game.
All right. Next up, now that wraps up Serie A. Next up, Eredivisie, where we don't have a lot of games, but let's get to them. First, Feyenoord hosting Almere City. Feyenoord wins set at 1.2. Almere City wins set at 16. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, Almere City, surprisingly, they beat Utrecht and a draw against NEC. So, back-to-back good games. And we see sometimes where teams at the bottom in the second half of the season, they start picking up points. So, is this one of those cases?
Not against Feyenoord, I think, but yeah, they played two, 3 good games, and but I think against Feyenoord they're gonna have a little dip again, but maybe after that, if they play the same way they played against Utrecht, the same confidence, they still have a chance. But Feyenoord will win this game this weekend.
Yeah, I would agree there. So not doing anything there, only Feyenoord winning just 1.2. So kind of skipping that. All right, next up, Twente hosting NEC. Twente wins set at 1.56. NEC wins set at 6.4. Line for total goals set at 2.5. And like I already said, I kind of like dogs this weekend, and this is another dog I like. I like NEC to win. Again, I'm gonna play a little bit safe, taking a double chance. You still get plus money at a double chance. Odds are 2.43. Still very good odds. And I do think NEC has the chance to win this game outright. Twente coming off a Thursday road game, so kind of a short week, short turnaround, and they played extra time. Got put 5 goals across and across their ears, so I think it's a bad spot here for them. Not a lot of rest. I know they're playing at home, but still, I like NEC. What do you think?
Yeah, playing at home, and I think it was a yeah, disappointing campaign for Twente in Europe. They expected a little bit more, so yeah, I think Twente will have a lot of problems with Nijmegen this weekend. So maybe a double chance Nijmegen.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I said. So I'm playing
yeah,
a double chance. I do believe they have a shot to win the game outright, but a double chance, obviously, in the safer play. If you want to sprinkle something on a NEC win, and I even might sprinkle something on NEC and Frankfurt. So be aware.
right.
All right, and I might add another game to that, which is Ajax hosting Go Ahead Eagles. Ajax wins set at 1.58. Go Ahead Eagles wins 6.1. Line for total goals set at 3.5. And actually, the same thing I have for Twente. The same analysis goes in actually goes up in this game. Ajax coming off a Thursday game. I know they played at home, so no travel. That's kind of an advantage, but you receive a red card after 25 minutes, so you play basically the whole game with a man less, and you go to extra time. So I think they just spent a lot of energy at that game, and now you're playing a Go Ahead Eagles that is actually a solid team, maybe even more than solid, a good team. So I know they're on the road, but Still, I think Go Ahead Eagles has a chance to win this game. Again, if you're just playing this game, double chance, that's a safe way to go. But like I said, sprinkle something. I like the dogs this weekend. Go Ahead Eagles win. NEC win. Frankfurt wins. What do you think about those odds?
Yeah, very good odds. If it hits, you'll be a happy man. That's for sure. But I'm not so confident about Go Ahead Eagles. I think Ajax, they know that the league, winning the league is one of the most important objectives this season. So they're not gonna spill points against Go Ahead Eagles.
Uh, I get what you're saying, but if you're not spilling points against Go Ahead Eagles, like on the road after such a tough Thursday game, like they're not going undefeated the rest of the season, right?
Yeah, yes, I know, but actually the game against Union, that gave them confidence. I
Yeah,
think
but
they didn't lose, so
I get it. I get it. That's true. But man, I think it's just very tough, and playing with a man less for such a long period is just the legs will get tired. So you could see them, and if they obviously if they don't score early in this game, you could see Go Ahead Eagles really coming alive in the second half, and maybe even pulling out a win here.
yeah.
All right.
If Ajax was playing an away game, I would agree.
All right. Next up, Asset hosting Fortuna. Asset wins set at 1.37. Fortuna wins set at 9.5. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Kind of the same here. Asset coming off a Thursday game against Galatasaray, but they didn't lose. They were up 2-0, and they actually created more chances during that game. And Fortuna is not a team I have too much confidence in. They're on a 6-game winless run, only one draw, five losses. So even though I like dogs this weekend, Fortuna is not one of them. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I don't have Fortuna also. 2025 didn't start that well for Fortuna, but yeah, it's not gonna start well this weekend also. So I want Azek.
All right. Now that wraps up the Eredivisie, and that wraps all of our picks and leans. Quick recap for the bets I like this weekend. I like Tottenham to win, Newcastle to win, Gladbach, Augsburg, both teams to score, Wolfsburg, Bochum, both teams to score, Atletico Madrid win, Lazio win, and a Fiorentina win. Like I said, I like some dogs, so double chance Go Ahead Eagles, double chance NEC, double chance Frankfurt. Also, three picks I like this weekend. And like I said, I'm just gonna sprinkle something small on all those three teams winning. Go Ahead Eagles win, NEC win, Frankfurt win. And if it hits, well, I'll be a very happy man. What do you got, Sergio?
Yeah, yes, I want Chelsea this weekend. Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, Bologna, Lazio, and Arsenal over 2.5, and Mainz over 2.5.
All right, now that wraps up all of our picks and leans. And like we always say, guys, bet smart, bet with your head, set your limits, and stay within your means. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, good weekend, everybody.